Welcome to Naked Pixels. Short clips with advice from the Naked Texture Artist podcast, where my guests answer questions all artists struggle with. Enjoy. So, as a lead and as a supervisor, have you ever sort of managed to distill any thoughts about what is the difference between a good texture artist and a truly great one? Do you see any common traits or qualities or something people can work on to sort of take their texturing game to the next level?
For sure, the people that can be in the heaven of texturing are the ones that see the matrix. So meaning that you are able to, when you are doing your textures, this is on a very practical and artistic level, that people that are able to see the big picture and detail. Because most of the time I find that there are some people that are very good in doing details, but then when you see the big picture, they lose control of the big picture, you know? The people that manage to have an asset working and looking beautiful, doesn't matter from which distance. I mean, it's not always possible, but that you know how to handle the texture artistically in a way that you just don't concentrate on the little things, but you know that you have to make it work in a broader way. These are the people that it's not so common, honestly, to find or to find someone that sees this kind of metrics on how the thing works. It's like the connections that you can make in your mind to make that material work, that texture work, if you can tell a story. So, it's like, it's all about telling a story for texturing. This is what, I'm not saying that everyone that has a bit of experience knows that, but it's really that. It's people that put their heart and their mind in what they're doing. So think about what you're doing. Ask yourself, the curious people, if you are a curious people, so you ask yourself how things work, why things are like this. Then you will ask this also for your texturing work, like why this material is like this. Why am I'm putting scratches there instead of putting in there. You don't have to go to your supervisor and explain, okay, I put a scratch there because that's not, it can stay in your mind, but if you have this kind of thinking in your mind, you are creative also in your mind, then you can be creative in your work. So it's not just a matter of sitting in front of the computer and start painting, because yes, you can be a great texture painter, but start in your mind, start thinking, think about the story, think about, okay, you're doing maybe an object, what this object has been through, what happened, why I want to put that detail there. And this is something that I think it really makes a difference from a good texture artist and a very good texture artist. Then, without saying all the other soft skills that comes with the job, so like the experience, the fact that you know how to handle yourself and plan your work in a way that makes your life easier so that you're faster but still deliver good qualities. These are all it's a whole set of skills that comes with the experience. So yeah, there would be a lot to say about that.
That thing that you're saying about sort of like think about this object, what is its story, how is it being used, or if it is a dead object, or how is and how that informs the details, like scratches will go here, not there, and as you were saying, I don't know, am I too critical? I feel like that's like the ABC of texturing. That shouldn't be like what changes you from good to truly great. Like that should just be like to get to good, I would say. Or is that rare to come across in your experience? You reviewed other texture artists' work on a level. I don't. So I'm maybe a little bit more siloed. I don't understand. I don't have the same understanding for what other people are doing. I just know what I do myself, so to speak.
You know what makes this thing very difficult? When you have to work like this under a deadline, under pressure, under the fact that you still need to manage to find the time to think, to process, to have your creativity in your head, and then do it, even if it's for a project that it's not your personal project, because of course with personal projects it's always easier. So yeah, I mean, I don't find it that it's I don't take it for granted that all the artists can put that little spark in their textures, you know. And it's even more difficult when you are in a production, you're under pressure, and you have deadlines. So if you manage to combine that, you deliver this in the right time frame, and plus you add that little additional touch of personality to your texture, then I think it's a great quality. Of course, all the texture artists that have a little bit of experience, they have this, but you know, there are different levels. I'm talking high levels.
Yeah. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. We have a tiny bit of housekeeping to do on the way out. If this episode has been helpful to you, why not share the podcast with your colleagues and friends? If you'd like to support the podcast, I'd appreciate if you bought me a coffee. You can do that on Ko-fi. That is spelled ko-fi.com/The Naked Texture Artist. One word. If you have suggestions, comments, or questions, I'd love to hear them. Feel free to drop me a line on thenakedtextureartist@gmail.com. That is The Naked Texture Artist written out in all one word @gmail.com. As I mentioned, having a busy day job in visual effects means my release schedule for this podcast can be a bit irregular. So if you don't want to miss out, subscribe to The Naked Texture Artist wherever you get your podcasts. Or follow the podcast on the socials, then you'll be alerted when the next episode drops. The music in this episode was Awake by Tycho. Nick Sifoni helped put the sound together, and everything else was done by me, your host, Marque Pierre Sondergaard. Speak to you soon.